Hello card gamers of the world, it is time for a new Vanguard set, and today we have as always a box to open as well. This time around it is set 11 of the Divines series. Yu back on the cover of the box for the first time in like 2-3 years? I guess 2 years, huh? And of course, as usual, on top of buying a box, I've also picked up a bunch of other things, and you seem to like these kind of introductions of things I bought recently, so allow me to do that. First things first is a few things I pre-ordered that released today. So these are of course the Etika sleeves. I don't know why I got 3 packs. I guess when pre-ordering I thought that maybe these would be harder to come by, but they were still pretty okay to find. So the goats, even though, you know, this season wasn't exactly the greatest for her character, it was still, you know, she's still a great character herself. Then even though Liel Draconis isn't as great as I wish she was, her art is great, so I had to cop a pack of sleeves for this art as well. I also, despite having way too many playmats, for some reason went and bought the Liel Draconis playmat as well. So I'm not sure when this will see use, but maybe one day. I also have the Odium one, so I guess they could be nice to pair up together. And then I also, for some reason, bought 2 of the Liel Draconis deck boxes. I own like, I think 5 of the Liel Amorta deck box. But I mean, the ones with Etika on them are very nice. And I mean, I really like this art too. So, you know, it's going to be good to use regardless. And then this also came in. Some of these are for friends, but the Marine, Nao, and Akina sleeves as well that were available in Comiket a little while ago. They currently have the beach art of them right now in Akihabara, but not like sleeves. They're just like acrylics and whatnot and other like merch goods. And then of course, we also got a bunch of cards. Of course, thanks as usual to Shaka Shaka Torika. That's where I got my box, I got my cards. They were selling playsets for very, very cheap this time around. I believe Dragon Empire was 5,000 yen or so. So you can do the, you know, Google the conversion for that. But basically it's like, you know, even if the yen wasn't horrible, that would be like 50 bucks for a playset, which is kind of insane to think about considering what you get. So of course, 4 of the Verinas, 4 of this new guy. I did film my first impressions that will be up relatively soon. It's just that I've, you know, those videos are over around an hour long and they take a little bit to edit. Then we have the Trickstar and Swendy, of course, as well. And then all the double rares come in playsets like this as well. And then also the rares and commons and whatnot too. I did not get Freerin this time around. I didn't finish Freerin. I've heard it's very, very good, obviously, but if I'm not like too strongly interested in a deck, I choose to not spend too much money on it. Particularly because you know, the playset for Freerin, because of the Tiffault reprint, was going for like 12,000 yen, and I was like, I could buy something else for that kind of money. Like that's, you know, even if I do love Vanguard, that's still a lot of money for a collab deck that isn't really Vanguard. Anyway, I did buy the Dark States playset. This was 3,000 yen for the playsets. That's probably like 20 bucks, 15 bucks, depending on the currency. But, you know, I think this new deck is not like great or anything, but it looks cool. So I thought I'd pick it up. And then, of course, the new Jeweled pieces as well. Some Odium support and whatnot. And then also some support for Omina Grigio. And, you know, the rares and commons and all that stuff as usual. Dark States definitely, I think, is the worst of the set in terms of all the nations. But it's still a pretty cool deck with some nice art. You know, the art department is the one thing that Vanguard does not fail to deliver on. Brancade, this set again is one of the big winners though, so definitely very much happy about that as a Brandt main. You know, Vaseruger and the generics last set were very, very good. And then this set, Prison, is looking very amazing as well. So of course I had to pick up a playset. This was, I think, 5,500 yen, which is ridiculously cheap. I'm really surprised about that one. This girl, I could only get 2 in silver. I'll show you my singles in a second, but still looking for those. This new support for Wallstra is also very, very good too. And then of course the hero support and whatnot. And of course all the commons and rares. You know, the commons and rares are definitely the part that is like, you don't need to write home about too much outside of like new ride lines. And then Keter, I think, also is eating quite well this set. So definitely quite impressed as well. So I did pick up Keter. For those of you that don't know, I've also been playing Pokemon TCG very actively recently. Because I got into my first ever Champions League. And then I'm also looking to finally pick up Gundam TCG because the Iron-Blooded Orphan stuff came out and that looks to be pretty good. Anyway, speaking of orphans, I'm not sure if that's related, but we have the new youth support and then this new Liel Draconis support that still not sure how good it is, how bad it is. I think it's relatively good. The new Soel I think is pretty nice as well. And then of course all the doubles, including Imagi the Frog IRL Persona, no way. And then all the rares and commons here too. So I think the Keter playset was also like 4,000-ish yen. Like it was also very cheap. And then finally, the most expensive playset was Stoichea because of Leonorn and the new triple rare support for Leonorn. And this was about 8,000 yen, I want to say. So the Leonorn is, you know, by far the priciest of the triples at 900 yen. Would you believe it? But of course, the new Grey 2 version of Rosarium is pretty crazy. New Zorga support, some pretty decent Nanoclear support as well in this set. Some Levadra support here and there too. So overall, I think Leonorn's a very, very good deck going into this set. So that's definitely something to be pretty excited about going into WGP Tokyo happening literally this weekend, which is, you know, something that I have to keep preparing for as well. And then of course, also picked up a bunch of singles at Shaka Shaka as well. If I had just picked up, you know, play sets, I think my spendings would have been very, very low for this set, but I picked up some singles. The only free ring card I bought is the Land. He doesn't care about free win. He just says he's a back row interceptor, and when he's retired by opponents, like during your opponent's turn, you can Energy Blast 2 to get him back to hand. But it's pretty good in Resile, I feel like, because you can revive him, boost with him, and the next turn just like intercept him away, and the next turn revive him again. So he's like a constantly reusable 5k shield intercept from the back, which is pretty good. So that's just a random common, but picked up some silver rares. I think this card for Nirvana is kind of decent, so I really like the art, so I decided to pick her up. Then 4 of the Liel Draconis support, the Serivant is her name. So I do like silver rares a lot, if you know me. I love me my silver, so picked up 4 of these. They only had 2 remaining of the Florist Lyra, so they were selling her at 500 yen a piece, but of course at that price she's gonna sell out. She goes for like 800 to 1,200 in other shops. So I've been trying to find her for 500 in other shops, but couldn't. So maybe I'll have to cave and get the remaining 2 in for 800 yen a piece. So only managed to get 2 of these, and then did get 3 copies of the Seraph Clearlight. I don't think you run the full 4. So I think you run 1 in the ride line and at most maybe 2 more in the main deck. So I think didn't really want to bother getting a 4th. Maybe I will eventually. This card I do believe in quite hard is the new support for Varga. I think is very good, especially if we're going to be in a prison meta going forward. And then if you, this might come as a surprise to some, but I really do like Verena and Trickstar and like all the Jiva stuff in general, especially in terms of art. So I did pick up 4 silver rare Trickstar Swendies. Definitely feel like this looks super cool. And also 4 copies of the Ars Verena. Also feels good because, you know, this card should see play in Buff Saga as well. So having both triple rares and silver rares, you know, kind of pays off. And then also my lyrical purchase was just 4 of the support for Artisaria. So I haven't picked up anything for Chris Rain because I don't own high fives, but the Chris Rain stuff from this set is very, very cheap. So I'll probably pick it up while it is cheap. And then high fives, I'll just wait until it gets reprinted next year and then pick those up when that happens, because Chris Rain likely is going to stick around anyway, just because she is, of course, in the new season trailer. What did you guys think about this last season, by the way? I wasn't particularly too impressed myself. I'm not gonna lie to you here. I think it wasn't necessarily the most impressive season, but anyway, it is the end of the season, and of course the end of season anime set. Honestly, opening it up, it's not gonna be the greatest. There's not too much to be excited about because there is no generics in this set, and I've already bought most of the things I want. So at this point, I'm basically just looking for silver rares of things that I don't have. So if it's like the 4th Clearlight or like a Leonorn or the grade 2 prison support, that'd be pretty cool. Side of the box, as you can see, as always, is like, you know, you got what's inside the set. 18 triples, 24 doubles, 24 rares, 54 commons, 8 EX triples, which is the free run stuff. And then, of course, that's the remaining free run stuff. 3 secrets, one of them is worth 10 bucks, by the way. Apparently the secrets are like 1 per case or something. And then 1 DSR, which is the Liel Draconis. 6 secrets, half of them are really good, the other half not so good. And then you have your 18 FFRs, etc, etc. So no cool art on the back, sadly. It's all just like explanations of the product in Chinese and some English, I guess. But unfortunately, they got rid of that a little while ago. And I guess this isn't too different from English, but no box toppers. They don't really do box toppers in Japan in the first place. But the art for the packs this time looks pretty nice. It's just Yu with the new Verena, but kind of like even the set logo looks like an old, like, you know, original overdress era booster. The colors are pretty cool though. I like this like blue to pink. Looks like an ice cream flavor. So definitely pretty nice. And ooh, it feels nice to open a Vanguard pack. The plastic is very sturdy on these. I've been opening a fair bit of Pokemon recently and it feels pretty refreshing to get back into it. So we have a dog. We have, what is his name again? Alistar from League of Legends. We have a Drag Ritter. This is it's not a terrible card. It's like when it attacks, if your Vanguard's grade 3 or greater, if you energy blasted this turn by card ability, gets plus 5k. And if your opponent's rearguard has been retired by your effect this turn, you can soul blast 1 and battle door your opponent. It's generic, so it's really not too bad. And then we have another, can we call this a generic? This is like one of those, like this calls out a grade 1, and then when boosted by the grade 1, they make like a 28 column that can look at the top card of your deck. So something, it's something basically. Let's just put it that way. And then we have, there's one free ring card in every pack, but this is one of those like dud commons, I guess. That's just like a supporting rear guard. So I'll just kind of set it aside here. You won't be able to see it on the table. But our first pack, we do have a new prison. The new prison, of course, this one gets set by an effect. You don't have to have it in the deck, and if you have it in hand, you can set it from hand too, so you don't have to worry about, you know, the whole issue of in the past when, you know, you'd draw into your prison in your opening hand and then you wouldn't be able to actually search it out from the deck, and then you'd minus a bunch. So don't have to rest a unit anymore to set it either. So it's overall a big upgrade. There we go, another free ring card. We have one of the Grimoires. This is the one that lets you get back a grade 2 or lower from your drop into your hand. And then we have a double rare, which is the support for Impaldio. This is the guy that basically retires himself after boosting to draw 1. And then also if you gauge him by Impaldio's effect, gives plus 5k to a rear guard, or to a unit rather, or to 2 units if you have 2 or more of him in the gauge, which is pretty nice. And then we also have a triple. Oh, well, it's a little robot festival out here, Super Robot Wars. So this is, of course, the new support for Welstra. It's a Blitz that when you call it, kind of +1 looks at top 7 for a product and a Blitz and adds both to hand. And then when your Vanguard is a Welstra with a Divine skill, if you didn't play an order this turn, you can just discard 1, choose a product from your drop and put it to order zone, but then you can't play orders for the rest of the turn. So it is a really good card for Welstra. Whether that will save the deck or not is a different question. I do think it's going to make the deck relatively decent. Some players that, you know, are pretty prominent in Japan are saying that the deck is quite valid, especially for best of 1 tournaments, just because, you know, there's a lot of rounds and it's a very stable deck as well. Speaking of which, Leonorn, new ride line, very, very strong, by the way. Then we have a Steam guy for the new Dark States deck. Ooh, and we have a EX triple. It is Fern. The foiling pattern for the EX triples this time around is actually very nice. This is not something you see very often in Vanguard, actually, when you look at it this way. So her ability is basically for every 2 Zoltraks in your bind zone, she gives plus 5k to your front row units. And then when you play Zoltrak, you counterblast 1, stand her, she attacks your opponent's Vanguard. If your opponent's Vanguard's grade 3 or greater, she gets a drive. If not, then her drive is 0. And end of the battle, she stands again. So she's like a main phase Vanguard attacker that is like Ethics Buster from the V series. And then if you discard 1, you look at top 7 for either a Freerin, Stark, Zine, Ubel, Danto, Lant, or Heiter, grade 2 or lower, and add it to your hand, which is pretty decent as well. So overall, I feel like she and the Freerin deck are both quite decent. So especially Freerin, I think, has a lot of deck thin, while doing like triple drive with a restanding rearguard that you can get back to hand every turn, even if it gets destroyed. So I feel like it's overall pretty good. We have the Youthberg Horse. We have, what even is this guy? He's a war beast. And then a Dragon Lady. Clarissa support's coming soon. Oh, look, another Lent. This is the generic, by the way. Ooh, and we do have a frame rare. So this is the Ezodina. When she attacks, if you have, for every 2 damage you have, she gets plus 5k. And if she gains 5k or more at the end of the battle, she retires herself. Not really the best FR to get, but it is decent, I suppose. And then we have the new ride line for Prison, which is also very good. Now draws a card while forcing your opponent to imprison 1 from hand, which is quite good. So pretty slow start to the box so far. I'm trying to see if we can pull any crazy silver rares like Leonorn. Seraph would also be very good as well. Oh, we have another EX triple, this time another Fern. This is the generic Fern. So if your Vanguard is a free run race, then she says when you call her, can almost 1 or energy blast 3, sorry, I don't know why I'd like stuttered over that. You draw 1, and when she attacks, if your opponent is grade 3 or greater, she gets plus 5k, and if you played a normal order this turn, she gets 10k instead, which most of the decks from Freerin do play normal orders. And then I have a couple starters in this one. I really like the new Corfi art. It's actually very nice. Like, I mean, Nijima Arc Sensei's art is just like very nice, especially the colors. So definitely good to see. Finally graduating from the Rorowa ride line is quite nice with more Nijima Arc Sensei's art. Is definitely a plus in my book. So that's quite good. This Levidrus rare that like has as much text as a triple rare, which is very impressive. This is a free run non-grimoire order. So all the grimoires you can only have once per deck, but this one you can have 4 of. You play it for EB2 if your opponent is on grade 3, and then you choose a column, retire everything in it on your opponent's side, and then give your Vanguard a crit and the effect to give your front row plus 5k. So it's quite good. Ooh, okay, we got a second FR, so no FFRs in this box. This is the double rare for Omina Grugio. So she counts as 2 when you need to put something to soul for a cost. And when you call her, she looks at top 5, puts 1 to soul, and then you can energy blast 3 to choose something from soul that is different from her, that is a grade 3 or lower, and call it to rear. So not a bad card whatsoever. Definitely quite decent. Although that does mean that no FFRs in this box, but I'm not giving up on a potential secret. So let's hope. I mean, if we do one box, if we hit a secret from one box, that'd be pretty insane. But we got quite lucky last set. The one box FFR was definitely something I appreciated. Oh, we have U-Bell. I know she's very popular. She's basically like a generic that energy blast 2 to get 5k if your opponent's grade 3 or greater, and then either retire an opponent's rear or choose an opponent's rear in the same column as her, and basically prevent it from intercepting and not let it stand next turn. So pretty good. Ooh, we do have a pretty good silver rare. It is the Zorga grade 2 triple rare. So this thing is pretty interesting. I'm not sure how the Zorga mains rate this card. I personally, as someone that doesn't really play Zorga, I rate it pretty highly. So in drop and in hand, when your Zorga with a divine skill Vanguard attacks, if you don't have him on the board, you can almost want to retire your rear guard to call him. And then for every different normal order in your bind zone, he gets plus 5k for the turn. So actually it's pretty big and gives you a 4th/5th attack. And then at the end of the battle that your Vanguard, that this attack the Vanguard, you can get almost one and bind it to choose a normal order from your bind zone that isn't a Regulus and add it to your hand. So it's not too bad. Of course, you know, being able to just prolong the game and like get stuff back is very good. Doesn't let you choose blitz order sadly, but I feel like just the extra attack extension is nice. Although if you use both effects, that is 2 CB you're committing in one turn, which I feel like might be a little bit risky. So not too sure about that one. This new ride line card for heroes. I really like that they're like actually adding new cards to ride lines, which I hope they do more often. We have another Grimoire. And oh, okay, we just hit the FR we just pulled earlier, but this time in double rare. Not sure. You know, I was kind of hoping, like, at first I was kind of happy. I was like, oh, nice. I can, you know, if we don't pull it, that's another double rare I can feature, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Another Grimoire. Oh, we got the triple rare for Liel Draconis. So this is the one that basically says that when she's bound by your Liel's Vanguard's ability, you soul boss 1 to call her to back row rearguard circle, and then at the end of the turn she binds herself. And then she also gets boost when your Vanguard is a Liel grade 3 or greater, which is quite good because that basically means that if you bind her in the main phase, she'll come out, and then when you attack and bind her, she can come out again, and then if you divine skill and bind her again, she comes out again. So you get to use the skill like up to 3 times per turn potentially. And it's also pretty cool because you can attack with her, then bind her, then call her behind, like in the back row, and then call another attacker in front of her, make a column. You can boost the Vanguard with her and then convert her into you know, attacking, or like convert her into an attacker, and then she goes behind that thing as a booster. So she's not as bad as I initially thought. She didn't patch up any of the issues that the deck had, in my opinion. So for that reason, I was a little bit disappointed. But that's about it. So let's keep on going. I think if there's any, what's a triple rare I would like to pull that, you know, is like good to have extras of? I feel like it's Verena basically. That would be good. Oh, there's a Zoltrak. So this is the for an order, you can play up to 8 of it in a deck. This is the really nice new Varga support. So when your Vanguard's a Varga, you can pay 3 energy and revive this from drop. And if you're in the Malworm state, get plus 5k for the turn. And then when this attacks your Vanguard's a Varga, then you can let this get plus 5k for the battle. And then you may soul charge 1, which might not sound that impressive, but honestly, if we're going into a prison meta, this soul charge will be very much appreciated. So for that, I do rate this card relatively highly, and you'll see more of that in my first impressions video as well. Sorry, I only slept like 4 hours today, and that might be why I'm just like randomly stumbling over my words all day. Luckily, I filmed the first impressions yesterday and not today. Ooh, this is also pretty good. I mean, I think this triple rare is crazy. This is a support for Chris Rain, but it does so much. Like, this has insane synergy with High Five, but you call it, you may soul charge, then if your Vanguard is a Chris Rain, you give any unit plus 5k, then you can CB1 to draw 1 and she gets plus 5k. So that's like soul, 5k, draw, 5k. And then on top of that, she also says that if you played an order this turn while you have a Vanguard that's Chris Rain, energy blast 3 and revive a grade 1 from your drop that you don't have on the rearguard circle. So she also revives something. Like, this card just does so much in this deck. I feel like it's kind of crazy that she's really, really cheap right now, and I feel like Chris Rain herself is also quite good. It's just that High Five is very expensive, so I don't own them. In Japan, they go for like 30 bucks a piece still. So for that reason, I'm waiting for the reprint and festival booster because I feel like it's gonna go down no matter what, so I don't really want to risk it. Ooh, this is a good triple to pull, the Leonorn. So Leonorn Toroimend. This is the new grade 3 form that actually has Unison Dress this time. Just keep in mind the Unison Dress does not draw you a card. It's Leonorn Vivace's effect that draws you a card. So she gives all of your Leonorn rearguards boost and grade -2. And at the end of the, or like when she would be attacking without being boosted, she stands all of your units in the back row that can boost herself with them. If she was boosted by 3 or more units, Counterboss 1 and Energy Blast 2, and then she gets +1 drive, and end of battle does one of the following. First effect, restands 2 back row rearguards. Second effect, if your opponent's grade 3 or greater, lets you choose a rearguard and then stand that and this, and they both get +10k and lose 3 drives. But if you put a Leonorn named unit from your rear circle or your hand to your soul, she'll get 1 drive back. So I talk about it more in the first impressions, but this basically just like added so much flexibility to the deck because now you're able to actually like swing rear first, then Vanguard, even going first turn 3 to kind of like apply pressure before the triple drive. You can also split between, you know, restanding rears or restanding the Vanguard as well. And the extra drive is really easy to set up too. So for that reason, I do rate the Leonorn very, very highly. We have an energy, and ooh, this was a surprise actually. So there's a Mikoto energy and it's her idol outfit. So people got really excited about this because this wasn't shown anywhere. Nobody knew about this until the set dropped. So that's definitely a very nice little addition. I think there's also Tomari energy in this set as well, which is pretty cool. I think it's like Tomari, Mikoto, and I'm not sure who else. Probably like Suo, I guess, or like maybe Yu. I don't know. I haven't really seen too many of the others. It's just this one that everyone got really excited about. Oh, there's a really good new hero double rare. When you call it from order zone to rear or guardian circle, Soul Blast to draw 1, which is already very good. And then during your turn, if you have 2 or more bases in the order zone, this gets +5k. If you have 3 more, it gets another 5k. And if you have a base in your order zone, this gets 5k shield as well. So 10k shield you can guard with from the order zone that draws you a card, or a 20k attacker that you can buff even more, that you can also call from your order zone. So overall, very, very good new support. Like 2 cards for heroes, and they're both amazing quality. Like very, very impressive stuff, honestly. So pretty good. Let's keep on moving and see what else we have here, if we still have anything else. We do really hit 1 free ring card per pack, which is nice. This amazing new Olden double rare. This thing is, if your Vanguard is an Olden, gets boost and +5k just by existing. And when you finish boosting with him or attacking with him, you can reveal Olden from your right deck, or if your Vanguard is Olden, you put him to soul, look at top 5, find a grade 3 that isn't Regulus, and add it to your hand. So this can even find Persona. I feel like this really buffs Olden like crazy. So good card. Very, very good card. We have another energy. Let's see who it is. Oh, Mire got one. Okay. I didn't know about that one. So pretty cool. I think she already had him energy, no? Maybe I'm wrong, but why Mire? Why not Yu? She's, I mean, she is in the deluxe, but she got knocked out pretty early. So a little bit strange. I guess Yu's not in the deluxe. Is that why? Is there really no Yu energy? That seems kind of strange. Oh, there's an important card to get. This is the token for free run. It basically says that you can only have this and Grimoires in your order zone, but the good thing is that every time you ride and every time you call a free run normal unit, you search your deck for a Grimoire and put it to order zone. So that's very strong, being able to do that a bunch. Ooh, we have 2 silvers. Okay, that's a pretty good box, and they're both triple rares. All right, we pulled the silver rare for Jeweled. Looks really cool in silver, actually. Damn, the art style fits really well with this border. So this guy says, when discarded by your card effect during your turn, when discarded during your turn, period, you can choose a card from drop and put it to soul, so it helps you set up your different grades in soul. And when he attacks a grade 3 or greater, if you have 4 or more different grades in soul, then he gets +10k for the turn. And of course, when you're Jeweled, Vanguard would soul blast 4 more at the same time, and your opponent's Vanguard's grade 3 or greater, Counterboss 1, and stand this. So it is yet another restander for Jeweled, the 5th of its type, but getting it in silver rare is actually very nice. So quite happy about that. Definitely a pleasant surprise here, I'd say. So overall, not complaining. I mean, 2 silver rares is definitely quite good for a box. Not getting as crazy lucky as we did last time around. And I guess also set 9, we pulled like silver rare, the Angel, Dissection Angel as well. So definitely not complaining. And then last pack, we have a free run and the double rare for Rezael that basically lets you get back original Rezaels and just gets a bunch of buffs. Ooh, a double rare pack too. Okay, overall, like, not a crazy box, but everything is like above average. So that's also pretty nice. So looking at it all, I guess let's count how many hits we got in this box. So overall, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 double rares, 2 EX triples, so that's 9, 2 frame rares, that's 11, and 1, 2, 3, 4 triple rares, that puts us to 15, and then 2 silver rares, so 17 hits in 16 packs. Pretty good, but unfortunately the majority of these hits do not go for a crazy amount or anything, but still very nice box. I mean, basically 6 triple rares when you think about it in terms of like the silvers and the triples combined, so definitely very strong lineup here. So not disappointing at all. I think this set itself, I think a lot of people aren't too excited about it just because it does feel like a lot of the cards printed for a lot of the decks are not exactly the most like inspirational design, I guess, but it's still going to be a pretty interesting format just because the ban list was so crazy, right? They hit buff Sagara to the ground. People are experimenting with all kinds of builds. Some people are just like straight up putting full Verena engines into buff Sagara to try to save her right now. Virgila seems to have a tough time against Prison, so that's probably going to go down in usage rate as well. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how things are going to pan out in Tokyo WGP this weekend. There will be a stream on the Monday, which this tournament runs on Sunday and Monday because Monday is a public holiday in Japan. So you'll want to tune into the stream, I think, because it's definitely going to be quite exciting to see which of the decks actually make it to the top 32, because this year I feel like every WGP has been very much dominated by buff Sagara, so this will be the first one, hopefully, where that isn't the case. But anyway, with that, that's gonna be it for me today. First impressions will come out likely tomorrow. I'll do my best to finish editing it and get it out for you guys on time. But if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe. If you're curious how any of the decks in this set function, I will be covering them in channel membership exclusive first-person POV fights, so if you're interested, feel free to become a YouTube channel member. With that, that's gonna be it for me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.